I've seen a lot of different parts of Central Florida as a real estate agent and as a firefighter paramedic. And today we are going to talk about all the great things that make up the Orlando metro area that don't involve the mouse house. So hit that subscribe button and let's get started. So to make this easy and give it some organization, I broke this down into 9 different categories. No particular order, but we're just going to go through some of these things, and I'm curious to hear your guys' thoughts too and opinions on any of this stuff. And if you do have those opinions, drop them in the comments, let us know. So one of the first things that I think we're overlooked for a lot in the Orlando area is our water sports, our lake. We are made up of a ton of lakes around this area. You've got the Butler chain of lakes, you've got the Winter Park chain of lakes. Up in the north end in Lake County, you've got Mount Dora and those Lake Eustis chain of lakes up there. If you want to go jet skiing, kayaking, paddleboarding, there's a lot of different places that you can go around here. One of the places nearby for us that we like to go is Waka Island and Waka Springs State Park. You can actually rent kayaks out at Waka Island, and one time we were out there, me and my oldest daughter, and we were taking a kayak through there, and it was really cool because we saw all these alligators sunbathing, and she was probably about 10, 11, 12 years old at the time, somewhere around there, and she thought it was really cool as well until one of those alligators decided to jump in the water as we were passing by. Wasn't trying to bother us, but it freaked her out. Like, hey, chill out before we have a bigger problem. Don't tip this kayak. But everything worked out. It was still a fun time. I don't know if she'd go back to that same spot again. There's a lot of places like that, and some of them might be a little bit less frequented by alligators as well. But no guarantees. This is Florida. Number 2 on this list is the golf game, all right? Orlando has got golf, all right? We've got over 24, 25 courses, something like that, spread around from West Volusia all the way down into Osceola, and even into Polk County, you're gonna find some. Some of the popular ones, more well-known ones around in our area include Dove's Dread over in College Park. You've got Bay Hill over in the Dr. Phillips area. The Winter Park 9 near Park Avenue is another classic historic golf course. I'm not so much a golf guy unless we're talking like putt-putt miniature golf, maybe the driving range at Top Golf, something like that. But Daniel, one of our team members, he is an avid golfer. That guy is an expert when it comes to the courses around here. He's played at a ton of them, and definitely a person to connect with if golf is your thing and you guys are relocating down here. Number 3 is our performing arts scene. We actually just recently caught the Beetlejuice musical at the Dr. Phillip Performing Arts Center downtown. That is an awesome theater. They've got a few different theaters actually at that venue. But that's an awesome place downtown. A lot of great walkability there. What we typically like to do is get dinner and then walk over, catch a show. But there's a lot of other smaller theaters too surrounding, not just in Orlando, but also in like Winter Park and Maitland. You've got the Bob Carr Theater, which is another great Orlando theater. And then the Enzion Theater in Maitland. That is an independent theater. A lot of cool dinner shows there, and they even show a lot of classic movies as well. Number 4 is entertainment, and that is a few different things by what I mean by that. And this is also why I didn't want to kind of lump it in with the performing arts, because number 1, there's a ton of different dinner shows along I-Drive that you can go to that are pretty cool. Medieval Times, they've got one that's more of like a gangster mafia type murder mystery, as well as just other different themes. But they also have other types of shows like the Blue Man Group or Cirque du Soleil. And I want to make sure that I also don't leave out Camping World Stadium, which is an awesome venue for concerts. There's been a ton of different bands that have played there. Red Hot Chili Peppers recently, I think last year, and then Elton John also came through here as well. And the Amway Arena, which is right down the road from Camping World Stadium, is another great venue for shows as well. Number 5 is we may not be next to the beach, but take your pick on which one you want to go to. One of the great things about being so centralized in the state is that you're less than an hour typically away from the East Coast if you want to go to the Daytona Beach, Cocoa Beach area along that side of Florida. But then you're just about an hour, 45 minutes to an hour or so away from the Tampa side as well. Now it's personal preference, how far away you can be from the beach. If you're okay with that, I can tell you I grew up on a coastal city. My wife is originally from Hawaii. So at first when we were moving to Orlando, we weren't really sure how much or how okay we were going to be with not being too close to the beach, but we've been perfectly fine, at least for us personally. Not a big deal. And if we really, really want to go, it's less than an hour away for us. The other really cool things too about being so close to the coast is that we are about an hour or less away from Port Canaveral, which is one of the major ports for the cruise ship coming out of Florida. You've got usually Fort Lauderdale, Miami, and then you have Port Canaveral. And one of the cool things about that and being so close is that a lot of times the cruise lines will have last minute deals at the very last minute because they're just trying to fill up whatever remaining cabins they have. Because we're so close, you know, if you really want to, you can find a great deal on a cruise on like a Monday or Tuesday and be on that ship by that Friday. Number 6 on our list about what makes the Orlando area so awesome is the food scene. If you're a foodie, you're gonna love it here. I grew up in South Florida. I've seen a lot of diversity growing up down there, but nothing compared to what I've seen in the Orlando metro area. Orlando is on another level, whether you're craving global cuisines, you know, basic simple food trucks to upscale dining. There is something for everybody across the entire board. There's also a lot of unique bars and cafes with, you know, different themes. We could do an entire video on this. I do have a link in the description that has a list of some of our top picks and favorites, so definitely check that out as well. Number 7 on our list might be unexpected to some. That is Orlando's sports scene. Even though the Orlando Magic have been so-so the last few years, it's still a great time. It's still a fun time to go down to the Amway Center, catch a game down there. They also have the semi-professional hockey team that also plays at the Amway Center, the Solar Bears, if you're into hockey. Major League Soccer has really taken off over the last 5 years or so since we've got our own team now. When there is an Orlando City home game, it is a sea of purple downtown. And even though we do not have our own professional sports team, we do have the Pro Bowl that is coming back this year. It had gone back to Hawaii for a couple years. Before that, it was in Orlando. Now it's coming back. And if you know anything about college football, I am sure you have heard all the buzz surrounding UCF. They just joined the Big 12. That's super exciting. I played college football. My brother actually played college football at UCF. He was a part of the undefeated team a few years back. So by way of him, we're UCF fans. Awesome fan base here in Orlando. And I got to tell you, even though the Big 3, Florida State, UF, Miami, UCF is making a strong case the last few years of becoming the Big 4, especially with this move to the Big 12. So definitely an exciting time in college football in the Orlando area. And even if you're not a UCF fan, Camping World Stadium is always hosting college football games as well. A lot of kickoff classics for college teams are there. Florida State just had a big game there, as well as bowl games at the end of the season. We're down to the last 2, and for number 8, I want to talk a little bit about the nature and outdoors that the Orlando metro area has to offer. We've got a great downtown area, we've got a great touristy area, but if nature trails, hiking, bike trails, walking past, if that's your thing, we've got you covered with that too. As for biking, you know, you got the West Orange Trail out through Winter Garden that runs all the way through Apopka. You've got the Orlando Urban Trail that runs through downtown Orlando. The Seminole Wekiva Trail up along Longwood and Markham Woods Road out in that area. That's great for walking and biking. There's literally miles and miles of outdoor trails and paths and stuff for you to explore. For number 9 on our list, I said we weren't going to talk about Disney, but I didn't necessarily mean all of the theme parks. Yes, Disney might be the king of theme parks here. They might be the #1 spot, but we do have a lot of other great parks and things for people to explore. Universal Studios is probably the 2nd most popular one. That's a big hit with my kids now, especially since they're older. SeaWorld, of course, is another well-known one. They've got some really cool rides that they've added over the last couple years. I think right now they have this stand-up, it's like a surfboard roller coaster, and I think if I remember correctly, it's the only stand-up type of roller coaster of its kind right now. So that's pretty cool. But then you also have Legoland, and also don't forget about Gatorland, which is a cool spot. It's exactly as it sounds, full of alligators. That is actually, believe it or not, the very first theme park, quote unquote, ever in the Orlando area, not Disney. So again, the Orlando Metro is a huge area. If there's anything that we covered today that you want further clarification on, maybe have questions, or maybe something that we left out, let us know. Drop us a comment, give us a call, shoot us a text, send us an email, however you like to communicate, we got your back. And until next time, I'm Don Sprinkle. We're living in Orlando, Florida. We'll catch you later.